People are always asking, what is snowboarding? What kind of people snowboard? And what can you do on a snowboard? Well, we thought it was time to show you what it's all about. Most people think it's a fad or something that's not as difficult as skiing. Actually, snowboarding is the fastest growing winter sport in the world. It's been doubling in size every year for the past 4 years. It's a young sport that's already reaching the same degree of excellence as skiing. Snowboarding is a sport that draws all kinds of people. It's an attitude and a way to have fun, either by yourself or with your friends. Traditions in the industry are changing. These changes have come about rapidly over the past few years. They're coming in the way people dress, the equipment they use, and even the way they use the mountain itself. The industry is giving way to a new attitude. With these new attitudes are new ways to express yourself on the snow. We wanted to tell you what snowboarding is all about, but we thought the best way to do this was to let the boarders tell you the story themselves.
My name's Dave Hatchett. We're down here at 8th Street, Del Mar. There's a good little swell pumping right now. Just hanging out in the summer, getting some good waves, waiting for winter to roll around.
My name's Nick Parada. The thing I like to do most when I'm not riding the steeps is jibbing. You're riding on everything that you see in your path. Logs, rocks, small children, anything.
My name's Sean Farmer. I've been snowboarding about 5 or 10 years. And it's pretty much all I do.
Major ski area acceptance of snowboarding has only come about in the last couple of years. Last year, snowboarding contributed to 20% of revenues at areas that allowed them. This has opened up lift service to terrain that otherwise would not have been accessible. Squaw Valley Marketing Director, Bill Jensen.
1989-90 season was the first year that we allowed snowboarding full-time on the mountain from opening to close. And we had experimented with snowboarding previously. The two previous years, we had allowed them only months of April and May.
I think snowboarding is a good thing. I love skiing, and snowboards are just another way to play in the snow.
Let's say that we won't be here tomorrow. I say that it is just not that way. 'Cause I've seen times turn before. There's another way, another day. Another day. Another day. We will be here. You say that one thing leads into the other. One fall today, tomorrow's astray. But I'll say if we wake up today, we will fall tomorrow's another day. Another day. Another day. We will be here.
When we first opened the mountain for snowboarding and people had heard that snowboarding would be allowed at Squaw, I think some of the old-timers, it's like anything change. Sometimes it's just not, change is not always readily acceptable to some people. But for the most part, I think that what they found unacceptable was, let's say, the dress or hairstyle or whatever, things that really don't count.
Let's say that we won't be here tomorrow. I say that it is just not that way. 'Cause I've seen times turn before. There's another way, another day. Another day. Another day. We will be here. You say that one thing leads into the other. One fall today, tomorrow's astray. But I'll say if we wake up today, we will fall tomorrow's another day. Another day.
It's bringing new people into the sport of skiing, into the alpine experience. We found a lot of snowboarders have not been on skis before. A lot of them have come from a skateboarding background or whatever. So it's bringing a whole new element, new blood into the industry, and that's what we need. The skier market's been flat.
Some of the best days at Squaw were with boarders. I don't know if it's because of snowboards, but because of the attitude, just the wildness.
Another day. We will be here.
I think the skiers and snowboarders are finally starting to unite and just rip it up and have fun together. Before, they used to kind of resent each other, and I think that's kind of fading out, and I think that everyone this year is just going to be one big group of shredders just up there killing it.
Well, I've been skating now for about 8 years.
Yeah, I think skateboarding has a certain influence on snowboarding. You transfer a lot of the moves, a lot of the grabs, a lot of the tricks.
Skateboarding helps my snowboarding out quite a bit. Love to go out and skateboard with the snowboarders because you can tell their style of skating and snowboarding. A lot of the snowboarders who don't skate just don't have the style and finesse and don't really know what to do in a certain trick. As if you skateboard, you know what looks good and you know what's stylish. It helps free riding, but mainly the half pipes where the skateboarding really comes in and the skateboarding shows in your snowboarding. Skateboarders do have somewhat a better attitude, I'm gonna say, than a lot of the people out there that never really skated, just kind of came into it.
The skaters seem to have attitude problems and like to thrash a lot of stuff. And that's carried over into some parts of the skate or the snowboard industry. You know, some of the guys are like that. A lot of the guys that are serious skaters are into trashing, you know, maybe hotel rooms or you know, just when you're riding, rail sliding on stuff, you shouldn't be shanking out the poles that mark the closed areas.
Snowboarders are different from skiers in that they take advantage of the terrain a little more. They'll see a rock or a little mound and they might do some kind of jib off of it, or maybe a log or maybe some weird kind of berm. They'll go play with it. Definitely, every year snowboarders are getting better in the bumps. They're learning little ski techniques that are helping them along.
Yeah, this year a lot of my skier friends started snowboarding, but not a lot of my snowboarder friends started skiing. So I think we're gonna see a lot more people snowboarding on the hill and less people skiing.
Powder is what snowboarding is all about. Powder, snow, soft, cherry, cherry, pow, pow, bro, brah. We were at Mount Baker one time, and people were saying, the snow's too deep, you know, the snow's too deep. And people were whining, and I was just like, no way, man, it never gets too deep.
Snowboarding's all about just having fun and pushing yourself to the limit. It doesn't matter how good you are, you can have fun. It's just about doing the things you like to do in the snow and expressing yourself.
To me, snowboarding's all about having fun, going out with your buddies, learning new tricks. You and your buddy out there busting a new move.
Snowboarding to me is just kind of pure and relaxed, kick back and carve. It's just a simple thing to do.
What's snowboarding all about? It's all about having fun and a good time with you and your friends. It's about feeling a sensation that you can only feel when you're on a snowboard. It's all about having fun, just like anything.
Snowboarding is like any sport. You can make it as dangerous as you want to.
Snowboarding's pretty safe.
I think it's just as safe as skiing, you know, and there's dangers in skiing and injuries in skiing.
Snowboarding can be very dangerous to your health.
I don't think it's that dangerous at all, you know. I just think it's just do it.
I think snowboarding's a relatively safe sport. You just have to use your judgment and be careful, because I very seldom get injured.
I think it's a little more safer than skiing.
Non-releasable bindings, right.
I don't see where there could be any injury factor.
Even though snowboarding has been accepted at a lot of the major ski resorts, the backcountry still offers some of the most exciting, challenging, and outrageous terrain available. If you take the necessary safety precautions and you're willing to hike, the reward will be greater than anything you can experience at a ski area.
As far as airs go and extremes, snowboarders are going to go wild pretty much. do what they want.
The direction snowboarding is going, I think, is going to have to be the extreme aspect of it. I think there's going to be slopes that haven't even been conquered by skiers that will be snowboarded down.
The deeper the better, the steeper the better. More extreme the terrain is, the more I like it.
The way I think the sport's headed, at least for me, is to get into a lot more sort of just backcountry adventures. It's really hard to call myself an extremist. To just kind of plug a snowboard into where skis once were. You know, if there was a peak that was descended on skis and a snowboarder hasn't done it, you can go out and snowboard it and people think it's a big deal.
Yeah, I think snowboarders have this attitude where they've just got to go out and just rip and shred the mountain to pieces and just take every little jib that the mountain has to offer and use it. Whereas on skis, you're a little bit more laid back. You're not really looking for the rad things to do as much. I think a snowboarder really utilizes everything the hill has to offer.
Before I drop into a steep chute, or mainly just a steep chute, I'll start with that, is that my first thought is my first turn. Once I hit that first turn, and I know, and I look, and I see where I'm going to nail it, I almost know pretty much exactly where I'll nail the turn, and slow myself down. And then from there, I just connect a rhythm. And when it comes to a cliff, my first thought is just go, just fly.
The best air I did this year was probably the road jump at Mount Baker. Pat was looking for a road jump, and I just pointed to it and said, that looks like a good one, and we went up there and built a kicker. First we got it built, it was only like a foot wide and stuff, and I was getting ready to hit it from like about half as much in-run as I originally had, and then I like stopped for a second and said, no way, you know, that, first of all, I might miss the jump, and I really didn't know if I even had enough speed, so we made it like 4 times as wide and packed the in-run in, because at first everyone was like, yeah, it's fine, you got plenty of speed from right there, but I took a couple practice runs and realized I wasn't going to make it. Milked every drop of speed out of the in-run I could and barely cleared the road and worked out okay. Yeah, I usually psych for a cliff drop, you know, even when I'm just by myself. I'm just like on top, like I get a good rush, and I sometimes I don't want to do it, you know. I'll see a really hairy line, but I know I can do it, so I just go for it.
Kerosene around, she's something to do. Kerosene around, set me on fire. Set me on fire, kerosene. 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 Set me on fire.
That's probably the funnest thing for me, and land and just keep laughing.
The far northern state of Alaska holds some of the biggest and most remote mountains in North America. Carved by glaciers and looking much like they did during the last ice age, the peaks of the Alaska Range are a natural challenge for snowboarders who seek to push the boundaries of the sport. It was with the lure of such unknown terrain that drew riders Nick Parada, Sean Farmer, and Chris Pappas, along with climbing guide Lance Leslie, photographer Brian Bailey, and cameraman Scott Pauley, to the Ruth Glacier, with the aim of being the first to descend the 10,335-foot rock and ice monolith known as the Moose's Tooth. Nick Parada talks about his experience on the glacier.
After we loaded up the plane, we landed on the Ruth Glacier, unloaded the plane, packed our packs, packed our sleds. You know, it's like starting a new life. Everything was new. Seeing these huge crevasses, putting crampons on the bottom of your feet, skiing. The amount of gear that we had to lug around, unbelievable. 90 pounds on our packs, 60 pounds in sleds behind us. Cross-country skiing to our base camp for about 4 miles. Then we reached our base camp, stayed in base camp for about 2-3 days. Then we made the final haul up to high camp, which took an 11-hour journey from base camp. But once you get up there and you start boarding the terrain that's never been boarded before, it's all worth it, man.
This expedition was unique in that it combined the disciplines of both snowboarding and mountaineering, and the team was required to ascend the mountain utilizing technical climbing techniques.
I think the scariest thing of all was the climb up. Being roped into 2 other people and having crampons on the bottom of your feet and ice axes in both hands, you kind of felt safe, but there was just that little instance that went through you every once in a while.
Climbing up the steep face en route to the summit, the team became aware of its extreme angle and the seriousness of the endeavor they had chosen. But the riders met the mountain head-on, using their skill, endurance, and a measure of insanity to challenge the relentless pull of gravity. They had successfully pulled off the first descent from the summit of the Moose's Tooth. With the hardest part behind them, it was now time to do some serious ripping. In these mountains, you can't drop your guard, even for a second. Watch the avalanche triggered by Chris Pappas as it roars down the slope, almost overtaking Nick Parada. The team had tested their ability on some of the most extreme terrain ever boarded. They pushed the boundaries of the sport a little further. It was now time to pack up and head home. But first, Sean Farmer had to get in one more big drop.
This is as far as I go. Here, take this dynamite. Strange things happen in these mountains.
Well, we tried to show you what we thought the sport was all about. Again, it's about having fun and a good time. There are still a lot of things that haven't been done on a snowboard, so keep on jibbing, and we'll see you next year.
Another
you're an avid surfer, skateboarder, windsurfer, or skier, catch the new winter sports sensation of snowboarding. And let Trans World Snowboarding Magazine get you there. Trans World Snowboarding Magazine has everything you need to get the most from this outrageous sport. In Trans World Snowboarding Magazine, you'll discover all the latest innovations, the best places to snowboard, and inside tips from the pros. If you ride the waves or the streets, it's time to check out the slopes. Trans World Snowboarding can help you cross over to an all-new dimension. Now, for a limited time offer, get 12 issues for just $19.95. That's 44% off the newsstand price. You'll also receive a free action poster with every subscription. That's a $22 savings. Don't be a poser. Get hot. Get Trans World Snowboarding Magazine now.